Hello everyone, and welcome to DM Vault. Today we're starting a journey that will take you to one of the most fascinating locations you'll ever include in your campaigns. Imagine your players for a moment. They're exhausted, perhaps being hunted, and certainly desperate to find a place to rest, gather information, or simply catch their breath. And you, as the dungeon master, want to give them something more than just another tavern. You want to give them a place they'll remember, a place that will come up in their conversations even years after the campaign has ended. Today, I'm introducing the Vault of the Blue Twilight. This is just the first in a series of videos where we'll explore every detail of this location together. In this episode, we'll focus on the general lore, the atmosphere, what makes this place so special, and how you can weave it into your own stories. So, make yourselves comfortable and imagine descending an ancient staircase with me. Your players are descending. Perhaps they followed the directions of an informant. Perhaps they are fleeing. Or maybe they simply found a tunnel that looked promising. In any case, they are walking down this stone staircase, worn by millennia of footsteps, and the air around them is changing. It's getting cooler, more humid. The darkness surrounding them begins to retreat, but not because of torches or lanterns. No, it's something else. Something none of them has ever seen before. The first mushrooms appear on the sides of the stairs, small at first, barely visible. But as they descend, they grow larger, more numerous, more brilliant. They radiate a blue turquoise light, as if someone had captured the twilight sky and brought it underground. They pulse softly, almost as if they were breathing. And then they hear it. A distant murmur, voices intertwining, the clinking of mugs, a soft laughter. Music, perhaps? It's hard to tell. But there is life down there in the darkness that is no longer darkness. At the bottom of the stairs, carved onto a weathered but still readable wooden sign, they see the words, Vault of the Blue Twilight. And as they step into the main hall, they realize they've found something truly special. It's a free port, a crossroads of destinies, a sanctuary for lost souls and seekers of secrets. But above all, it is a place that exists in a unique, almost magical location. The most fascinating theory about its origin is that these tunnels, centuries or perhaps millennia ago, were a passage point, a border, the exact place where the surface world met the Underdark realms. Think about it for a moment. It was neither above nor below, but perfectly in the middle. A liminal space where dwarven empires could trade with elven cities, where even the drow could emerge without fear of being immediately hunted, where creatures of the deep Underdark could test the waters of the upper world without fully committing. Perhaps it was a monastery, perhaps a fortress, perhaps a temple dedicated to some deity of the border, of balance, of the twilight itself. No one knows for sure, and that is part of its charm. What we do know is that today, that ancient site has become something else. A sanctuary transformed by necessity, by ingenuity, and by those extraordinary mushrooms that seem to absorb the magic of both worlds. Veterans of the Vault will tell you that, in the quietest hours, if you listen closely, you can still hear the echoes, conversations in dead languages, the rumble of caravans that haven't existed for centuries, the songs of forgotten races. It's a place where the past hasn't completely vanished, where the boundaries between then and now are as thin as those between above and below. And who frequents a place like this? Well, think about anyone who would need a place where the rules of the surface world no longer apply. A place where a mercenary can sit next to a high tower mage without anyone raising an eyebrow. Where a thief with a bounty on their head can sleep soundly. Where secrets are a currency more precious than gold. You'll find adventurers, of course, groups just like your players, searching for information, for contracts, or simply for a bed where they don't have to sleep with one eye open. Black market merchants dealing in goods you'll never see in a city square. Scholars obsessed with the mushrooms and their properties, or with the ancient ruins that surround the vault. But there's more. There are the fugitives, those who literally have nowhere else to go. Information brokers whispering secrets that could topple kingdoms. Cultists and mystics drawn to the magical properties of the site. And yes, even creatures of the deep, those you would normally never see in the sunlight, here to trade peacefully with surface dwellers. And then there are the others, desperate mages with an impossible deadline, inventors with a project that just won't work, lawyers buried under hundreds of pages of documents for a trial that starts tomorrow, artists who have lost their inspiration, all those who need something the normal world cannot give them, time. But we'll talk about that in a moment. The rule, the only sacred rule that governs this place, is simple. Do not spill blood in the vault. Velimir, the proprietor, and believe me, we will get back to him, enforces this rule with means no one has ever dared to test. They say that the last person who tried to start a fight was simply forgotten, not expelled, not killed, simply erased from everyone's memory, as if they had never existed. Now, let me truly take you inside this place, because when your players enter, you want them to feel every single detail. You want this location to become real for them. The light is the first thing that hits them. Those bioluminescent mushrooms create a perpetual twilight, a blue turquoise glow that perfectly mimics that magical moment between day and night. That moment when the sky isn't black yet, but it's no longer blue. When the first stars begin to show, when everything seems possible, and the whole world seems to hold its breath. Except here, that moment lasts forever. The shadows are soft, almost inviting, not threatening. And here and there, candles and lanterns add touches of golden light, creating small islands of warmth within the alien azure. The mushrooms pulse gently, as if breathing together. Occasionally, one glows more intensely, and if you pay close attention, it almost feels as if they are communicating. The sound is unique. Everything is muffled, as if the stone and the fungi absorb any noise that's too loud. Yet, strangely, whispers travel. Your players might catch fragments of conversations from distant tables. Never enough to understand everything, but always enough to pique their curiosity. There's the constant drip of water providing a rhythmic, almost hypnotic beat. Low laughter mixing with the clinking of mugs. The reassuring crackle of the fire in the great hearth. The rustle of maps being unrolled. It all weaves into this underground symphony of hidden life. And the smells. Rich, damp earth. The scent of the underground itself, primal and honest. Mushrooms with that earthy, almost nutty aroma. Dark, spiced ale filling the air with notes of caramel and cloves. The scent of peat smoke from the fireplace. Every now and then, something metallic, perhaps the weapons of the guests, Or maybe something more ancient hidden within the stones themselves. The air is cool, always constant. Around 12 to 15 degrees. Never cold enough to be uncomfortable, never warm enough to be oppressive. It's as if the earth itself regulates the temperature with care. The humidity settles on the skin like dew. If your players dare to touch one of those mushrooms, they'll find they are surprisingly warm, as if they possess a life of their own. And the food. Oh, the kitchen of the vault is something unique. Mushrooms prepared in 1,000 different ways. Meats from creatures your players have never heard of. Purple worms, cave bats, blind fish from underground rivers. Ale fermented with ingredients that give it a complex, almost metallic flavor, with notes of hazelnut and soil. Everything has this earthy aftertaste that might be unsettling at first, but then becomes comforting, familiar. It is the taste of the deep, and there is something strangely honest about it. Down here, you see, time behaves in a strange way. There is no sunrise, no sunset, only this eternal blue twilight. Your players could spend hours or even days here without ever truly realizing it. It's an effect of the spores, some say. The ancient magic of the place, others claim. Perhaps it's a remnant of when this site was a passage point between worlds, a place that didn't fully belong to either, and therefore followed its own rules. Those who frequent the vault regularly learn to recognize the shifts in other ways, by the staff rotation, by the changing of the candles, by the peak hours when the hall is full, and the dead hours when only the night owls and the desperate, those with nowhere else to go, remain. But there is an area of the vault where this phenomenon becomes something more extreme, more powerful, more useful. In one of the deepest sections, where the mushrooms grow so dense that the air itself looks blue, where the spores concentrate until they are visible like dust in a sunbeam, time slows down. This is not an illusion. It is not just perception. It is real. 1 hour in the outside world can become 3, 4, even 6 hours inside those chambers. Imagine the possibilities. A mage who must decipher an impossibly complex spell before his enemies find him. A lawyer with 300 pages of legal codes to study for a trial tomorrow morning. An inventor working on a mechanism so delicate that a single mistake could ruin months of work. An artist who has lost their inspiration while their patron demands the finished piece within the week. And the spores do more than just slow down time. They facilitate mental connections. They ignite creative sparks. Thoughts that seemed muddled suddenly crystallize with perfect clarity. Solutions to problems that seemed impossible emerge from nowhere. It's as if the spores allow the mind to access parts of itself that are normally closed, to see connections that the noise of the normal world would drown out. Some speak of visions. Not wild hallucinations, mind you, but profound insights. Moments of understanding so pure they feel almost prophetic. A warrior meditating in the right chamber might suddenly grasp the weakness of a technique that has haunted them for years. A scholar might see links between ancient texts that no one had ever noticed before. Now, before we continue, I want to take a moment to thank you for being here. You are investing your time to improve your campaigns, to give your players memorable experiences. And that is what I am most passionate about in this hobby, creating together. If you're finding this content useful, if this location is already sparking ideas in your mind for your own campaign, I'd like to ask you a small favor that costs absolutely nothing. Please, leave a like on the video. Write a comment, even just to tell me what you think, or how you plan to use the vault in your stories. Every like, every comment helps this channel grow. It helps YouTube show this content to more dungeon masters who might find it useful. And believe me, this is only the beginning. We've barely scratched the surface of what the Vault of the Blue Twilight has to offer. All right, let's continue. Of course, like all things powerful and precious, this gift comes with a price. Velimir, the proprietor of the vault, and what a character he is. I promise you, when we do the video dedicated to NPCs, you'll be fascinated. Velimir asks a lot for access to these special chambers. And I'm not just talking about gold coins, though those are certainly necessary. No, there is another price. As Velimir always says, with that enigmatic smile of his, the time gained here must be paid for outside. Not in currency, but in exhaustion. You see, even if only 2 hours have passed outside while you've worked for 10 hours inside, your body remembers every single moment. Your mind has labored for 10 hours. You need to rest as if you truly spent 10 hours in intense study. It is a debt that the body reclaims, and it cannot be avoided. And then, there's the whispered warning. The one that veterans of the vault share only with those who seem to take them seriously. There are stories of those who entered those chambers young and walked out with white hair. Those who spent, by their own internal count, weeks of intense study and emerged to find only a day or two had passed outside, yet they had aged by years. Is it true? Is it just a legend to scare those who would abuse the chambers? No one knows for sure. But everyone in the vault agrees on one thing. Time is a powerful river, and those who seek to divert it must be prepared to pay the price. Now, one of the most beautiful things about the Vault of the Blue Twilight is just how incredibly versatile it is. It can work in almost any type of campaign, in almost any setting. Let me give you a few ideas. You could place it beneath a major city. Imagine, your players are investigating the local thieves guild, or they're on the run from the guards, or they simply need information they can't ask for openly. Someone points them toward an old manhole, a forgotten crypt, or the cellar of a particularly ancient building. And as they descend, and descend, and descend, they find the vault. In this context, it becomes a microcosm of the city itself. All the factions, all the intrigue, all the secrets, but concentrated in this underground space where masks can fall. Because everyone knows that here, discretion is law. Or it could be a completely isolated location. Perhaps your players are crossing a wild region, or exploring ancient ruins, and they find tunnels leading them deeper and deeper. And there, in the heart of a mountain, or beneath a hidden valley, they find the vault. In this case, it becomes the last outpost of civilization before the deep darkness of the Underdark. A place to pause before the adventure truly turns dangerous. Or maybe you're running a mega dungeon campaign. The vault could be the first safe zone your players encounter after surviving the initial perils. A free port managed by some powerful faction, where even enemy groups can meet without violence, because everyone understands the utility of such a place. Here, they might meet other adventurers, brave merchants trading with dungeon delvers, or local guides who know the deepest levels. There's even the possibility, if your campaign allows it, to make it a transit point between planes. Perhaps there are hidden portals that open only at certain times. Perhaps its status as a place between two worlds is more literal than it seems, and travelers from other realities sometimes stop here, In this case, the atmosphere becomes even more surreal, and the rules of reality a little more flexible. The point is this: the vault adapts. You can mold it to the needs of your campaign. Change the tone from welcoming to unsettling with just a few small adjustments. Expand it or shrink it. Make it a sanctuary or a nest of vipers where every conversation hides a double meaning. It is yours to shape. And this brings us to an important point: how to present the vault to your players for the first time, because believe me, the way you introduce it will set the tone for how they perceive it for the rest of the campaign. You could have a trusted NPC invite them. Perhaps that contact they earned 2 sessions ago says, "I know a place where we can talk safely," and he leads them down. This immediately establishes the vault as a place of trust, a place where guards cannot enter, where secrets can be shared. Or perhaps your players are on the run, hunted by guards, by assassins, or something worse. And in their moment of maximum desperation, they find that hidden entrance. They dive inside, rushing down the stairs, and when they finally slow down and look back, they realize their pursuers have stopped at the entrance. They won't come in. They can't, or they won't. And your players realize they've found a sanctuary. Or they could simply be searching for it. Every rumor, every lead they follow, keeps mentioning this place. If you want to know more, go to the vault. You'll find what you're looking for in the blue twilight. And when they finally find it, there's that satisfaction of having discovered something important, of having gained access to a deeper level of the world. Whichever method you choose, I'll give you one piece of advice. The first time you describe it, take your time. This is not the moment to rush. Describe the gradual descent, the change in temperature, the appearance of the first glowing mushrooms, the growing blue light, the first sounds of underground life. And then, when you describe the opening of the main hall, make it a moment. Make your players feel like they are entering a place that is special, different from anything they've seen before. Because it is. And you want them to remember it. Before we wrap up this general overview, I want to touch on one last point that I think is crucial. The vault can work in campaigns with very different tones, and small adjustments can completely change how it is perceived. In a darker, more horror-oriented campaign, the vault could be the last oasis of sanity in a corrupted land. Perhaps the mushrooms have more disturbing side effects. Perhaps Velimir is a more ambiguous figure, where you're never quite sure if he'll help you or betray you. The guests hide terrible secrets, and that blue twilight that seemed so beautiful at first begins to feel more alien, more wrong. In a lighter, more adventurous campaign, emphasize the cozy aspect. The vault becomes that fantastic tavern your players will always want to return to. The NPCs are memorable but quirky. The magical mushrooms have strange but funny effects. There's a sense of fellowship, a community among adventurers. In a political campaign full of intrigue, the vault is the crossroads where everything happens. Every conversation has double meanings. Information is worth more than gold. Alliances are formed and broken at the tables in the hall. Your players must watch every word, because you never know who is listening. For campaigns focused on exploration, it is the perfect base camp. Maps to buy, guides to hire, other adventurers to compete or collaborate with. A market for specialized equipment. The place to return to after every expedition into the deep. You see? The same location, but it can give completely different vibes. And that's the beauty of it. You choose which version fits your story best. Well, this was just a first taste of the Vault of the Blue Twilight. We've covered the basics, what it is, where you can put it, the atmosphere to create, and who you might find there. But as you've realized, there is much, much more. In the next videos, we're going deep. We'll explore every single area in detail. I'll introduce you to Velimir and the other NPCs who make this place alive. And believe me, every one of them has a story to tell. I'll give you adventure hooks, side quest ideas, and ways to weave the vault into your main plot. We'll talk about unique magic items, secrets hidden in the deepest chambers, that ancient mushroom in the heart of the twilight that some say is sentient, and those whispered legends about what happens to those who use the time chambers too often. This is just the beginning of a journey we'll take together. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of these videos, if you want to be here when we explore the mushroom field with Spora, the gnome druid, or when we meet Gromath, the orc cook with his impossible recipes, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, because every week I'll be adding new pieces to this puzzle. In the meantime, I want to hear from you. In the comments, tell me, how would you use the vault in your campaigns? What aspects intrigue you the most? What kind of NPCs would you like to meet here? Your ideas might inspire future videos, because in the end, this channel exists for us. The community of dungeon masters who want to create unforgettable experiences for our players. And now, something important I want to share with you. All the images you've seen in this video, the maps, the detailed descriptions, all the material we create for the Vault of the Blue Twilight will be made available for you to download for free. You'll find the links in the video description and in the pinned comments. You can use all this material in your campaigns, modify it however you like, and adapt it to your needs. Because that's the point of DM Vault. Creating resources that you can actually use at your tables, making your sessions richer and more memorable. All I ask in return is that you spread the word. If you find this material useful, share it with other dungeon masters. Talk about it in your groups and communities. Because the more the channel grows, the more time I can dedicate to creating even more detailed and valuable content for you. So, thank you. Thank you for being here with me for this first exploration of the Blue Twilight. Remember, a like and a comment really help the channel grow, and they cost you nothing. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll begin exploring the specific areas of this extraordinary location. Until then, keep creating wonderful stories. And remember, in the Blue Twilight, every story finds a voice, and every voice finds ears willing to listen for a price. See you at the next adventure, and happy gaming to everyone.